She was apparelled like any barbaric Ethiopian emperor, his neck heavy with pendants of polished ivory. She was a thing of trophies, a cannibal of a craft, tricking herself forth in the chased bones of her enemies. All round her unpanelled open bulwarks were garnished like one continuous jaw, with the long, sharp teeth of the sperm whale, inserted there for pins to fasten her old hempen thews and tendons to. Those thews ran not through base blocks of landwood, but deftly travelled over sheaves of sea ivory. Scorning a turnstile wheel at her reverend helm, she sported there a tiller, and that tiller was in one mass curiously carved from the long, narrow lower jaw of her hereditary foe. I dreamt I walked into a huge bakery, you know, with ovens and racks covered with rolls and buns and cakes and all the pastry you ever saw in your life. Yes, that was it. And you were on duty there in a white apron and a big silly white hat, like a chef. I suppose you were the baker's boy. Anyway, there was no one else. Just this gentle roaring of the ovens and a haze of flour and the smell of new bread. It was gorgeous. Hello again. Are you back for another story? Well, you've caught me just in time because this is my story time. And I'm going to read another one of my favourite stories from my book of folk tales. Now then, this is called The Soup Stone. Now this is the tale of a very odd stone, and this is the way that I tell it.
I'll tell you the story of Jonah, a really remarkable tale. A peaceful and humdrum existence he had, till one day he went for a sail. The weather were grand when they started, but later, at turn of the tide, the wind started blowing, the water got rough, and Jonah felt funny inside.
And that is how I found myself trotting quietly along. The red desert under me hooves, the sky rolled out like a black cloth over my head, and a tired woman nodding asleep on my back towards the little town of Bethlehem.
A little before dawn, the boatswain sounded his pipe, and the crew began to man the capstan bars. I might have been twice as weary, yet I would not have left the deck. All was so new and interesting to me. The brief commands, the shrill note of the whistle, the men bustling to their places in the glimmer of the ship's lanterns. "Aye, aye, mates," said Long John, who was standing by with his crutch under his arms, and at once broke out in the air in words I knew so well. 15 men on the dead man's chest. And then the whole crew bore chorus. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. And at the third ho drove the bars before them with a will.
My master Joseph was an optimistic man. He knocked at the door. The innkeeper opened it, and the boy who had been sleeping in the letterbox fell out. "No room," said the innkeeper. "For my wife only?" asked Joseph. "Tonight she will bear a son." "Then she must do it by starlight," said the innkeeper, closing the door. Joseph put his foot in the way. "Listen," said the innkeeper. "You think I'm joking?" He pointed upwards into the beams, where 5 spiders were looking gloomily at 6 infants whose father had knotted the webs into hammocks. Joseph nodded and was about to turn away when the innkeeper said, "But go round the back to the stables and see what you can find."
Run, run as fast as you can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. And the cow ran too, but she couldn't catch him. Then the little gingerbread boy ran on until he came to a horse by the wayside. When the horse saw the little gingerbread boy, he said, "Nay, nay, stop, little gingerbread boy. You look very good to eat."
And the grampus, his lungs did expand, then blew out a fountain that lifted Joe up and carried him safely to land. There was tears in their eyes when they parted, and their love filled their hearts up to full. The grampus went off with a swish of its tail, and Jonah walked back home to Wool.